We welcome to Sports Talk this week Madison Central coach Alan Feldhaus Jr. Alan, congratulations on the state championship.
Thank you, Danny. It's been kind of overwhelming, to tell you the truth. I thought really that once it was over with, things might settle down a little bit. I think it's been crazier after we won than it was before.
And it's a busy week there because the girls are headed to state.
Oh, it is. It is. We're all excited about that. So getting ready to take off for Bowling Green and hope our girls can fare well. I think, unfortunately, everybody's probably playing for second place because I've seen those Marion County girls play a long time. They're a special group of girls.
Okay, back to your team. Come from behind fashion. Just 3 exciting games after you beat Wayne County in the first round. Let's go to that Holmes game. James Bolden, it looked like he was hitting everything, but your team's composure, and you talked about how tough they are.
Well, I don't think really with all 3 of those games, I don't think you could have written any more perfect script as far as the ending to describe the type of team that I had. And it helps, I think, having 2 guards like Dominique Hawkins and Kenja Bosley. It helps everybody believe that when we get behind, when you have guys that can score like that and defend the way they can, that we're capable of coming back. So I think that's one of the reasons why my guys don't panic, but it still doesn't always work out that way. But I really did like their composure and the way they hung in there in all 3 games, and just never got rattled even when things weren't going well.
Yeah, 12-point deficit to a very athletic Hopkinsville team, and then down 16 to Ballard. And you said after the Hopkinsville game that it all began with defensive stops.
Definitely, and I think really, those were probably the 3 most athletic teams in the tournament, and we got to play all 3 of them. I don't know, for some reason it seemed like the first half of all 3 of those games we were getting our normal shots. We just couldn't get it to go. We couldn't get it to go in. Dominique struggled a little bit the first half of each one of those games, but he was getting his normal shots. Seems like they were going in and come out, and then like the Ballard game, I thought they were getting all the rolls the first half, and it kind of capped it off at the end of the first half when Snyder made that banked that shot in at the buzzer, and I just started to laugh. I said, well, that's just the way the first half went. And I went into the locker room there at halftime, told the guys, all right, they had their half with the ball rolled their way. It's going to be our half, the second half.
And I didn't realize until today, I guess, caught up in what happened Saturday night, but you guys shot 12 of 20, 60% in the second half, actually Sunday afternoon in the championship game.
Well, a lot of those shots. Of course, Kenja struggled, truthfully, from the three-point line most of the tournament. And, of course, he turned it around there in the fourth quarter and knocked down some of those open threes. But my guys were so good about getting to the rack. And we got a lot of layups. A lot of them were contested layups and tough layups, but we got to the hole a lot. And that helps you shoot a high percentage. And not only that, you have a tendency to get fouled a lot. And I haven't gone back and looked, but there were very few basketball games throughout the course of the year where our opponents shot more free throws than us. Well, I'll tell you one. Russell County, they shot more free throws than us. But all the rest of them, I think we probably shot more free throws than everybody. Because, I did have some guys that really attack the rack and get fouled and were good free throw shooters, too.
And that last series where Ballard threw the bad inbounds pass, that looked almost like a movie script. Probably everyone thought Dominique was going to take the shot, and he loses the ball off to Kenja Bosley. And, he's going to remember that shot for the rest of his life. Oh,
he will, and it was just how it turned out there. We're trying to keep the ball out of Snyder's hands. We did a good job of that, and really we were going to foul anybody else that caught it, and luckily they threw it away. And of course George Walker was right there on the spot, and that's what I really liked about our team, our role players. George knew exactly where to get that basketball once he made the steal. He found Dominique real quick, and as usual, there's 2 or 3 people hanging all over Dominique when he's trying to get to the basket, and really they tripped him. That's what happened after watching it on tape. They actually tripped him, and the ball actually went off of Dominique's knee and then went right towards Kenja. And Kenja picks it up, takes 2 dribbles, and has really 2 defenders in his face, and he kind of backed up, created a little space, and I could tell when he went up. He thought that ball was going to go in. He went up with confidence, and I really like those guys who want to take that last second shot, and he's hit a lot of end of quarter and even some end of game shots. I think it was our St. X game in the King of the Bluegrass. We were down by 3 as time's running out. He hits like a 35-footer to send it into overtime, and we win in overtime. So that wasn't his first game winner that he's hit.
I said on the radio that it seemed like that ball was in the air forever. I mean, he put a nice arch on it. It was kind of like almost a slow motion play.
Yeah, well, he had to. When if you look at it on tape, I mean, he had two guys were coming at him pretty hard, so he had to put a lot of arch in, and he had just hit two. I mean, he had just hit 2 3-pointers before that, so he was kind of feeling it, and I think that's why he had so much confidence when he went up to shoot the basketball.
How many times have you watched it?
I've watched the whole game, I think, twice. I didn't get to see it that night when they replayed at 7. Of course, we were doing our pep rally and stuff. But the next night when Karen and I got home, she hadn't got to see it yet either. We laid there in bed and watched it and enjoyed every single minute of it. And then, of course, yesterday we had a busy day. We visited the Capitol and met the governor and went to the House, went to the Senate, and then Coach Cal called, invited us to practice, and then we got back last night and went to our city commission meeting. The mayor invited us down for that. And when I walked in the door after a long day, my girls were all upstairs watching it again, so I watched it again with them. So I watched it twice.
And I looked up, and your dad's walking behind the scores table to come over and congratulate you Sunday afternoon. That had to be a special moment.
It was. I mean, I held it together pretty good until then. After I got through with all my media stuff, I turned around behind the bench, and there he and Leanne were standing there. And so I moved that chair out of the way and went and gave him a big hug. And I kind of lost it a little bit there because I told him he's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. I've always wanted to follow in his footsteps. And I told him it kind of erased a little bit of the sting of 1981. And I just told him what a special group of kids I had. And he said they have a special leader, too. So it was a really special moment.
I know after I talked to you there briefly, I saw your mom. She was in tears. I've seen the picture online where you and your dad and Willie and Darren are all holding the trophy. Yeah,
my mom doesn't lose it very much. That was very uncharacteristic of her. I mean, they finally let her on the floor when she got out there and found me. She lost it, and she usually keeps her cool pretty good. But that's one of the few times I've seen her lose it. But I mean, it's kind of like a relief. I mean, it's been a long time coming. I mean, for all of us. And of course, Danny, you've been around our family long enough. I mean, high school basketball is what we're all about, and to reach that ultimate goal of winning a state championship, it's just it's very gratifying for all of us.
I know you had a lot of Maysville, Mason County people pulling for you.
Oh, I had people, a lot of Maysville, Mason County people, and of course the other two places that I coached, Clinton County and Greene County, a lot of people from both of those places. So, I know that crowd at that last day, I know there were a lot of them from Madison County, but I know there were a lot of Mason County and Greene County and Clinton County people cheering us on too.
You played a really tough schedule, 32-5, and I know you guys play a good schedule every year, but this one was brutal and got you ready for the state tournament.
Well, it was. I mean, we've always tried the best. We try to find the best we can play, but this year, I mean, I knew, especially after last year. I mean, that was a bad feeling last year when we got upset in the semifinals of the regional tournament to Woodford County. And last year, and we played a tough schedule, played the normal teams that we normally play, but some of those teams weren't as good as they normally were last year. So our schedule, of course, we beat Trinity, who ended up winning the state tournament, but it still wasn't as good as it had been. So I want to make daggone sure these guys were challenged. When you got 8 seniors, I mean, I knew they could handle that challenge. And really, we never had a lull in our schedule where we didn't play well. I mean, we lost a few games, but even the games we lost, we played well in those games, and they were against quality competition. And the King of the Bluegrass, I think that was, from top to bottom, I think it was the strongest field that we'd ever played in. And that really helped us because we got to play some close basketball games. And in that tournament, I called Lloyd Gardner after the state tournament was over and told him I really appreciate him allowing us to come and play in that, because I think that really helped us out when we got to the state tournament.
And the comeback started in the regional tournament. I know I was doing the 10th region games, and I kept getting updates on your Henry Clay game. You had to rally late in that ball game.
Oh, we did. We were down by 4, I guess less than 2 minutes to go, and Dominic scores on gets a 3-point play the old-fashioned way, cuts it to 1, and they've got the ball trying to stall it, and Ken just shoots the gap and gets the layup and lets us go up by 1, gives us a little breathing room, and we kind of hit our free throws and took care of business after that. So we had a lot of games. I would say we had 8 or 10 games throughout the course of the year that were close, and most of those we had to come from behind to win. So that's why it didn't rattle us when we were behind in the state tournament those last 3 games.
Quan Taylor made some big defensive plays, and he had some big scores for you, but that big rebound he had was the biggest rebound of his life.
Oh, it definitely was, and he saved his best game for the last, because Ballard, they did a great job defensively. They had two people. They were hounding Dominique the whole game. Of course, Dominique had to be tired after playing, two tough games right before that. And Kenji had been struggling, and really it was Quan that held us in there offensively the first three quarters, and then Kenji and Dominique kind of took over. And that one move that Quan had there, and I can't remember if it was the third quarter or fourth quarter when we was making that run where he pivoted about three times. Just textbook, and held his pivot foot down there. I've watched that numerous times. And Quan, he's just kind of a special situation, a tough situation that he's grown up in, and just really been proud of him. And you could tell, he's the one that he will show some emotion out there on the floor, and he's kind of our free spirit, and he's a child. I'll be the first to admit he's a challenge coaching at times too, but there's nobody works any harder, wants to win any more than him when he's out there on the floor. We don't have to worry about Quan when he's with us. It's when he's not with us when we got to worry about him.
Yeah, they kept showing that replay of that pivot move he made there. Like you said, it was textbook.
Oh, it was.
And you talked about George Walker, one of your role players, but your two other starters, Stocker and Park, and I know Stocker made some big baskets for you, and Park just seems like a cool kid. And then another guy you brought off the bench, DeMarcus George.
Yeah, and we went about seven deep, and that was the biggest difference, Danny, I think, from last year to this year. Our role players, everybody knows about our big three and the ones that do the scoring. The biggest difference about last year and this year is that our role players this year, they really understood their role. And, they were to do the dirty work for us. They were to guard, play good defense, rebound, knock down that open shot when they had it. But they knew when the game was on the line, they knew where we wanted the basketball. And that was the difference between last year and this year. Our guys, they just bought in. They bought into hard work and doing things the old-fashioned way, and caring for each other, loving each other. Just all the way around, they totally bought in. I think it's quite evident when everybody got to see them play. I think they got to see what I've been talking about for the last couple months, that I thought this was a very special group.
There's been a lot of talk with the format change with the semifinals and finals on a different day, and did that help you prepare? I think the big thing was you get a little time to prepare between that quarterfinal and the semifinals, much less the semifinals and finals.
What I really like it is, I think the semifinal game finally gets its due. In the past, you'd have a little thing in the paper about those semifinal games, and it'd all be about the final game. And I think it really helps the crowd for that semifinal games, those two semifinal games, over 20,000. Of course, that was probably attributed to Montgomery County and us being in it, but that game, those two games at least got their due that next morning in the Sunday morning paper, and it kind of helped you build up the suspense for that championship game. And I hope they stick with it. It does give you a little bit more time to prepare. It's just unfortunate that this weekend was when you had to set your clocks ahead, so you kind of lost an hour right there. And it helped us that we went on back as soon as we played that semifinal game, because we'd already played Montgomery and Ballard both. We'd already played them in the regular season, so had a pretty good idea what both those teams were going to do. So I think that helped us. We didn't have to have as much preparation time getting ready for a state final game because we'd already played both of them.
How many interviews have you done?
I've lost count. I think I've talked to surprisingly, I know I've talked to 3 or 4 radio stations in Louisville after the game, so a bunch. And I've got a couple more. Joe B tomorrow. I think Friday on him, and I've got a couple more that have requests for next week. So it's been nonstop.
Well, we appreciate you making time for us, and just continue to enjoy, because I know from Mason County's experience, the celebrations are going to go probably into the summer.
I think it's definitely going to be that way in Richmond, too. So they don't give those things away, so we're going to enjoy it as long as we can.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, Danny.
Madison Central coach Alan Feldhaus, Jr.